Hello and welcome to lesson 3 of week 28. In this lesson, we are going to look at conditional statements in MySQL. My name is Mildred. The conditional statement in MySQL is similar to other programming language you have learned. The same thing with Python, using if, condition, then statements, and then you end if. So the syntax is writing if, and then you state what the condition is, and then you put the then statement, and then you put the statement that you want to execute, and then you will end if. And this is just for the if statement. We can have something like else if and else statement. So if we want to have several conditions, change conditions. So if condition 1 is there, so we want to execute the statement. If not, we want to execute another statement. Else, we want to fall back somewhere. And then we can have something called else if, and then we put condition, then we put the statement, and then else statement, and then we end if. So this is the syntax. Let's look at what we did in the last lesson, but for that, let's try to create a stored procedure called get customer rank. So let me use Secular. What we want to do with this procedure is to look at the customers who have had rentals that are greater than 20. We want to rank them as VIP customers, and the ones who have rentals less than 20, we want to rank them as standard customers, and the ones who do not have any record found, they want to say that their rank is unknown. So we're going to create a stored procedure. I'll start by changing the delimiter. Always remember that, and you can use anything for your delimiter. And I will create procedure, and the name of my procedure is get customer rank, and I want this to take parameters. So I want it to take the in mode. I want it to collect the customer ID, and then it's going to tell us what the rank of that customer is, and then we want it to give us the customer level, and I want this to be varchar, and let's say 20. Okay, now let's begin now, and we want to declare the variable called total, and we want this total to just store the total rental that we are going to get. So refer back on previous lesson for this week to see how we declare variables and how we put a calculation into a declared variable. So I'm going to select count, and I want to count the customer ID in the rental table. So select count customer ID, and I want to put it into the total variable. So select count customer ID into total, and I'm selecting this from the rental table, and I want to say where customer ID is equal to customer ID, so equal to the variable or the parameter that we set, like that. Now for the if statement, I want to say if the total is greater than 0 and it is less than 20, then we want to do something. So the if statement is written like this: if total is greater than 0, we want to change to statement, and total is less than 20, then, so this is the syntax of the if statement, we want to set the customer level to be equal to standard, and then we want to use the else if statement. If this is the only statement we want, we'll just end if. If we want to add only the else statement, if this is not possible, or if this is not the case, we'll say else something else, or we just end if. But I want to use all of the if statements, so I want to use another condition now. I will say else if. So else if total is greater than 20, then we want to set the customer level to, let's say, VIP, and then we want to say else if none of this condition is happening. So in the case where we don't even have the customer ID at all, we want to set customer level to unknown, like this, and then we end if. So it's good practice to just use uppercase for all of these statements. So we end if, we end this, and we now redeclare the delimiter like what it used to be. So I can decide to indent so that we will not have confusion. It doesn't rely on indentation, but sometimes I just do this for readability sake. I know where each control flow is. So the else will be on this line, and this is for the else, and then this will end in if, or ending this. So this will give you a better visual when we indent like this. So we're creating the procedure that gets the rank of the customer. We want to declare a variable called total and store the total number of rentals that the customer has in the rental table, and then we want to check using the conditional statement if that total number is greater than 0 and that total number is less than 20. We want to rank that customer as a standard customer. But if it is greater than 20 rentals, then a VIP customer. And if we don't find any number within this range that we have set in the if and else if statement, we want to say that the level is unknown. Let's call in one statement. So when we do this, we want to call get customer rank, and we want to get the rank of. There's no customer with the ID of 0, so we're expecting to get unknown. So I'll put add, let's say customer level or just level. Whatever you define here, you will just select that stuff. So I'm going to be selecting at level. So I want to see what level it is going to print out for me. So let's run this. If it all is well, it will create the get customer rank procedure, and then it is going to tell me what the rank of the customer is. So there's an error, unknown customer ID. So I think there's a spelling error here. Yes, it's created the first time. I have to drop procedure get customer rank. So drop if it already exists, and then start. And then we have the rank here is unknown because we use 0. If we check for, we have a customer with ID of 33, we should get a VIP because I think that has a total of over 20. So if you select all from the rental table, you look at the different customer ID, you run this query of select count customer ID to see the different total number of rentals that each customer ID has had. And when I run this will give me VIP, select count. So this is how you check so that you verify if your code is working. So let's say select count customer ID from rental, where customer ID we are going to get, there's none, so we're not going to get anything, 0. If I use 5, there's 38 of them, 6, 7, 9, 19. So what we'll do is let's change the threshold so that we can get something. So if we say 30, we know that there's a lot of them that are less than 30. So this is how you check if you want to test. So I'll uncomment all of this. I'm going to do that in one run, and then I want to say if the total is greater than 0 and less than 35, then it should say a standard. But if it is greater than 35, it should say it is VIP, like this. So this way we're going to get something. So if we have 7, we're going to get standard because it is 20 something. But if we have something like let's say 9, we still have standard. There were some that were above 30, so you look at that when you'll see how many they are. If they are above 35, we now get VIP. So you can try the different numbers and see which one is above or which one is below the threshold that we set. So we've run through all of this already, and we've seen the different numbers or the different figures that they have. So VIP 5 because 5 has 38, like we've seen when we ran the query. So this is how we use the if statements. We have the case statements that we can use. This is not the best example for the case statement, but I'll just illustrate case using this. For this, I'll just say something like, when you want to do the case, the syntax is writing case, and what is the case that you're looking at? We're looking at the total, right? The total, that's variable that we declared here. And I want to say something like when, let's say when 30, then we want to set. So this is not the best example, like I said. So I'm just testing for one value, 30. We want to set customer level to standard. Now let's say the when 21 or thereabouts. Else, or we want to say another case will now be when 20, then we set customer level to VIP. So this is not the best example, and this does not illustrate what we've just done with the if statement, but it just shows you the syntax of how to use the case statement. And then when the case is not 21, the case is not 20, we want to have something like the else, where it now gives us something, print out something like a default value when none of the cases match. So we say customer level equal to, let's say, not defined. So this is best used when you have, like, you want to say grades, when grades A to E, just a short list of things like case A, excellent, case B, sets, the grade will be good, average, things like that. But now I'm just using this to give us an example that is not really the best kind of example, but this is what we do. And then when we are done, we end case like this, and then we try to run this to see if the customer level is 21, it will give us standard. If it's 20, it will give us VIP, and if it's not either of this, to say not defined. And because 5 is over 30, it's not either of these fixed values, we're going to get not defined when we run not defined, like that. So this is how we use case statements. So you case, and what case are you looking at? Are you looking at the variable? What holds the value that you are evaluating? And then you use when. You can use anything here, but the thing you have to take note of is if it's A string, you quote it. So let's say, for instance, you're testing for when A, then grade, set grade equal to excellent, when B, set grade equal to good, when C, set grade equal to average, when D, set grade equal to fair, when E, set grade equal to fail. Those are the kind of use case. And else, set grade equal to withdrawn or something, whatever you want to use as the default value if all of the cases fails, and then you end case. And this is where we end this lesson. Thank you, and see you in the next lesson.